Live from the Green Room Studios, from the spacious property of Bates Nursery and Garden Center, 3810 Whites Creek Pike, it's the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome into the At Home Show. It's your Saturday tradition where Josh and I have been doing the program for almost 25 years. But Josh is not here today. And we thought about having a party, but we're not. Josh is actually has an excused absence. His daughter Eliza graduated veterinary school, UT today. So
congratulations.
Congratulations, Eliza and Josh and Diana. I'm sure they're happy to have that out of the way, and welcome in everyone. We're talking about what you want to talk about here on this Saturday, the 7th of May, and a weekend already, and hard to believe it's really the first week of May. It feels so cool today. And also we have this notice that the weather is going to change, and we'll get right into that now. And of course, the current temperature is 56 degrees, a very cool start to the day. Only going to be about 64 degrees and cloudy conditions today. So very comfortable but cool. I would call this Blackberry winter Saturday. So let's look and see what the week has in store. 76 degrees and mostly sunny tomorrow. So a big improvement, sunshine for Mother's Day, and a special happy Mother's Day to everyone out there celebrating that. And as we go through the week, we quickly warm up. We'll 83 Monday, 89 Tuesday, 90 Wednesday, Thursday, 89 Friday, 88. So we're having a warm trend through the week. A lot of sunshine, probably humidity. That's the way it tends to work. And and look at here quickly at the big map. We've got a few clouds off to the north and to the east, and some much more gentle winds out of the northwest today, only about 10 miles an hour. You see that stream coming in here yesterday. It was wicked. I had some 30-mile-an-hour alerts coming out across my my weather app on our weather station here at Bates Nursery. And again, it is 56 degrees here from Bates Nursery Station, live from the Green Room. And we want to welcome in at this time a very special guest, Miriam Mims. Miriam, welcome this morning.
Hi, David. Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here.
She asked so many questions. We finally said, well, you've got to come in and ask questions live and in person, and we're really glad you could come in today. But we're not just talking to Miriam about her extensive knowledge and questions she has regarding horticulture. She also is closely affiliated, given that she is a resident of the Hillsborough West End Neighborhood Association, and the garden tour that's going on tomorrow, the inaugural garden tour, is it at noon tomorrow?
It is. It starts at 1.
At 1 o'clock. So
1 to 5.
So if but I'm sure there'll be a lot of people lining up at noon, for there'll be a couple thousand people.
Champing at the bit.
Yes. Yeah, or maybe not. I don't know.
Or maybe not.
But they will certainly not be disappointed with respect to the fact that 10 really beautiful gardens and one beautiful neighborhood. It's worth the time to get to come out and see all of those things and just enjoy the weather on a wonderful spring day. And so how did this idea come about? How did who said, hey, let's have a garden tour?
It was kind of a meeting of the minds. We've had our historic home tours in the past, and with COVID, that fell by the wayside. We've also had the carriage tours during the holiday season, which have been a big success, but there hasn't been an opportunity to do that lately.
Right.
So we thought, how can we make an outdoor event where everybody feels safe and comfortable? And this is a natural for us. We are nothing if not walkable. We're a walkable neighborhood. We're one of the walking districts in Nashville. We're a designated walking district. And so if you come out to our neighborhood, the Hillsborough West End neighborhood, you're going to find that the houses are compact, the sidewalks are plentiful, the streets are eminently walkable and the houses are historic.
Now, will the streets be blocked off for traffic from local traffic during the tour, or will cars still be permitted to drive through the neighborhood?
We can't close down the neighborhood.
Okay.
So you will be walking on the sidewalks. You'll be walking down the crosswalks, and everything is very accessible. So, but do watch for cars. We do have a little bit of work with one of our telecommunications companies. You know which one I'm talking about, doing some work in the area. Right. But really, just walk down the sidewalks, use the crosswalks, or you can bike, or you can drive to a spot and hit 2 or 3, and then get in your car and move it.
So if you've got a few physical limitations, you can certainly work around that and cut some of the walking out of it if you're not able to traverse the entire pathway on foot.
Or if you get where you want to just hop over and save a little bit, some steps.
All right. Well, that's coming up tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that throughout the show today, and you can go out there and get tickets to that, by the way, at hwen.org. And they're $10 for adults. 12 and under children are free. So pack up the family and go out and take in some great gardening tours and some beautiful plant things. And we're Bates Nursery Garden Center is proud to be a sponsor of that. And we're happy to get to put an endorsement on that and encourage you to go out and see all the great gardens out at the Hillsborough West End Neighborhood Association. But at this time, we want to make sure and not go any further without bringing in the rest of our cast members here. Austin Lowen, Cary Gant, and Tyler Blankenship.
Good
Greetings
morning.
all.
Good morning.
And
Good morning.
There he is.
There's the Tyler Cam. Okay.
Tyler Cam.
Well, you can never be too careful, Austin. Tyler. Any of us can never be too careful. I'll just call you names until one of them is right. This has been a wild couple of weeks here around Bates Nursery. We've been extremely busy. The cool weather that we had at the early part of April, we kind of caught up on the last couple of weeks, and we have been hit really hard with people wanting to come out and get stuff, and we've been really appreciative of that, and we've been very appreciative of people's patience and getting in and getting out of here. it has been a tough couple of weeks, but we do appreciate you making the effort. And if you came out during Sunday or maybe sometimes at the early part of the week and we didn't appear to have what you were looking for, we have gotten over that. How many trucks were unloaded this week?
Austin, you wager probably.
I would say total. I mean, you talking houseplants, perennials, shrubs, trees, all of it, probably 25 trucks.
I would say at least that. So,
at least. And we spent a lot of time putting stuff away, and we've got it all put away. It's amazing. I didn't think we were going to get it done
I did
Saturday.
not think so either. So anyway, regardless of whether you're looking for annuals or perennials or tropicals or trees and shrubs, ground covers, all that, we're back fully stocked again, ready to go, and we're going to have really pleasant shopping conditions today. It will not be cold. It'll just be comfortably cool. Overcast today, and tomorrow, of course, looks to be a more sunny event. So I do invite you to come out and you bring some photographs with you. If you've got pictures of your landscape, and Austin, talk for just a moment about how much help that is when folks take the time to take a few pictures of the area that they're working on.
It's crazy how much different it is. I mean, if you just kind of tell me and describe your area and what you got, and with your hands, trying to show me I got this over here and this over here, it's just hard for me to visualize. So if you can bring a picture or 2 or 3 or 4, the more the better. We can help you kind of design an area if that's what you're trying to do, help you out with maybe problems you're having with plants, multiple pictures, close-ups, but also backups of it, let me see the whole plant. have a number of people this week actually show me some damage they have on their plants or some problems they're having. But then I ask them, what percentage of your plant looks good? Is it 95%? Is it 98% of your plant that's looking nice? And they'll say, yeah. I say, well, then, okay, that's kind of natural, with new plantings especially. There's little yellowing leaves that are going to happen on the interior. Sometimes you're going to get some leaf drop on a new planting. So, let me see the overall plant, but then also let me see close-up pictures of it, and we can help you find whatever you want, whatever you're trying to do out here.
And of course, Austin's just one of the very capable staff we have here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. If you're really looking to get intensive help in your landscape, you may be better off to try to come out during the week. Weekends tend to be extremely busy, and we would have likely not quite as much time to spend with you on a Saturday or Sunday as we would during the week. So just be mindful of that. And those pictures help greatly because, as they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It may be worth considerably more than that, particularly when it's coming to diagnosing issues you may be having with your plants or that you think you're having with your plants. Mm-hmm. All right, Cary, good morning to you. And what's going on in the tropical realm, which is, the tropical and containers and all those kind of decorative things are what you deal with almost exclusively.
Yes, we have a lot right now. We actually just unboxed a lot of new pottery. I think we still have, 20, 25 pallets in backstock that's still coming out. So that's very exciting. We did have a question about the Talavera truck arriving in our questions today, and we still don't quite know when that's going to be here, but hopefully soon. We are fully stocked on houseplants. We got more Boston ferns. We have more machos coming in next week, so that's super exciting. And I did a webinar on Tropicanuals yesterday.
Okay, well, tell us about what that was all about.
It was all about fun, to be honest. But I talked about how to care for hibiscus, mandevilla, those tropicals that most people will treat as annuals, but we also talked about how to overwinter them if you don't want to spend money each year getting basically the same plant. Care, pest, troubleshooting, pruning, fertilizing, all of those fun things that you need to know to keep those tropicals happy and healthy all summer long.
And Tyler, for those who want to see that webinar, how do they check that out?
Well, it's been archived on the Bates Nursery Facebook page, and soon it will be available to watch on YouTube. That's the Bates Nursery YouTube, not the At Home Show YouTube, which you might be watching this show from right now.
Okay, well, I think that covers that then. And again, we've got Miriam Mims here in studio, and she's talking about the Hillsborough West End Neighborhood Association inaugural. And it's, in addition to that, it's the first annual. It's not just the inaugural, it's the first. So
all the way around.
That's right. So it's a garden tour featuring 10 wonderful gardens in the neighborhood. And quick math says if you're an adult, that costs you about $1 a garden.
What a deal.
That is a deal. I mean, when can you go see a garden for $1? You might just drive by longingly and go, well, I'd love to see that. Tomorrow's your day.
I'd like to go in their backyard. You know how you drive by a house and you go, that looks interesting. Now you can.
Yep. So $10 for adults, 12 and under children are absolutely free. And you're going to have you have a lemonade stand. Is that correct?
We do. We have a lemonade stand. We're going
I was just thinking about lemonade stands. I was like, there's got to be one here. Is that real?
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Vulcan Mind Melt.
Yeah. Okay.
For real. Yeah. And popsicles.
Oh, really?
Herb-inspired popsicles.
That is right up my alley. I'm all about
Well, we're not going to ask you what kind of herb you're talking about, but
Wonderful herbs.
oh, okay. You mean like lavender?
Lavender.
Okay, that kind. All right. I'm on wavelength now. Yeah, and of course this is the week that I think is the most humorous of weeks. This is the week that contains El Cinco de Mayo, which if you're in Mexico means absolutely nothing to you, but it's just the 5th of May. They do not sell, and Miriam, as you're well aware, in Mexico they celebrate life and they celebrate every meaningful event. Cinco de Mayo is not one of them. This past week was, I understand in the San Miguel de Allende that they celebrated Construction Workers Day, so they had a big construction workers parade going on in the city. So, but that shows you the importance of Cinco de Mayo for those who live in Mexico. It really doesn't have any importance.
So let us do it.
But
We'll
we do
it for
have
them.
a rose named Cinco de Mayo. We do not have any named Siete de Mayo, which is el fecha para hoy is el Siete de Mayo. So we won't talk about the 7th of May. We'll just talk about the 5th of May rose right here. Also got some iceberg behind. Austin, I know you start salivating when you maybe need to dry your corners of your mouth before you start talking about the roses. But this is the time of year when the roses are really putting on a show.
Yeah, they are. And we got. Oh, can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tyler muted you.
You were
brought some
jiggling your
roses in
mic.
here. It smells good over there right now. Iceberg Rose is a white, disease-resistant rose, one of the best ones on the market by far. We still have a number of those. I was going to say, too, this week, what we did get was a number of just like single items for Mother's Day. So we got a ton of just like drop-in pots that are already done up for you. Got 3 different plants in the same pot, mixed containers, single roses that are perfect right now. Absolutely perfect. So a number of Mother's Day gifts that are just easy, come out, get one thing and get out of here type of thing. So there's a lot of that going on right now. And like I said, roses are starting to go. I ain't lying. They're so pretty that people are buying them, but we still got tons on in stock that are looking really good.
And I know it's very tempting to go out and buy Mom a dozen roses, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a perfectly nice thing to do, but you can buy a rose bush for probably the same or less money.
Less money.
That will continue to flower all summer long. So it won't be a one and done kind of a deal. You'll get to remind Mom just how much she means to you throughout the growing season. So, and we have a lot of different types to choose from. Not only grandifloras, floribundas, hybrid teas, and climbers. We also have an extensive selection of shrub roses that for many people's purposes are the better choice simply because they're a lot easier to maintain and take care of.
I'd say we have more variety of roses than any place in Middle Tennessee right now. I mean, I don't think there's any place that would have more.
We have several hundred to say the least. So
Yes.
come on out and check those out. And as you mentioned already, Austin, we have a lot of other choices for Mom. And so if you're struggling with what kind of gift to get Mom, we have a lot of things to choose from. And in the event you don't know exactly what she would want, what she would want to have for Mother's Day, you can go out to batesnursery.com and click on the gift card link on there, and you can actually email Mom a gift card in whatever amount you want to directly to her, so that you don't have to come out here if it's not possible for you today or tomorrow. And you don't have to, I don't know why you wouldn't want to go see Mom, but maybe that she doesn't live in the same town you live in. I don't know, maybe you live in Topeka, Kansas right now, and your mom lives here. I have no idea. So, and I know another thing I have no idea about are what are the questions that we have in the queue today. So
we have a few questions this morning, but before we shoot on over to our questions, I do want to point out those Petunia hanging baskets. I took the hangers off that are right in front of you guys.
Yes.
That one pink mound in front of Tyler is one single hanging basket. So we have some very large hanging baskets back in our annual area. Oh, there he goes. And they're gorgeous. They're really trailing over. I mean, it takes up the whole top part of a cart, just one basket. So
Yeah, they're full.
You can go big if that's what you're wanting to do. We also have some really great houseplants right now, orchids,
African violets.
African violets, and then some more rare houseplants. So if Mom doesn't want anything outside, or she doesn't have a big yard,
What kind
but
of
you
a
wanna get
message
something
does
living,
it? What kind of a message does it send if you give Mom a cactus for Mother's Day? Is that a mixed
know.
message?
I've definitely given my mom a cactus for Mother's Day, maybe her birthday before, probably quite a few events, special occasions.
It's actually a nice gift because it's the least maintenance of anything.
Absolutely.
It really is. If they have enough sun, get a cactus. I love them. They're my favorite. So
The prickliest thing, but with some really nice blooms.
that's right.
true.
And a lot of love. All right. So let's get to our first question. Best plants for, hold on, my screen went wild. We're coming back and we're here. Best plants for hanging baskets, facing west, and afternoon blaring sun.
The blaring sun.
The blaring sun. Yes.
It's very
Sounds
loud.
hot.
It's very loud sun.
Ringing out like a siren on the horizon.
Turn that sun down. It's killing my ears.
Well, that's a good question, though, to be honest, because the hanging baskets do dry out quicker than any other, way to grow plants. So the first one that comes to mind for me is Vinca, because it's a very sun-tolerant, heat-tolerant annual that trails, out of the container. So tons of those. They still come in little cheap 4-packs, too. So y'all don't forget about the little 4-packs. You can buy those for real cheap. Put 4 of them in the same hanging basket and let them just grow, and they'll make a nice little container for you. Also, lantana comes to mind. There's that trailing purple lantana, trailing yellow lantana. They take the sun great. So either one of those would be an awesome option. Verbena comes to mind. I like verbena. There's a fair amount of deadheading that goes along with verbena, but it's another one that's low maintenance, minus the deadheading. But the watering isn't quite as bad for those 3. So those 3 might work for you.
There you go.
Yeah, short and sweet. Let's get on to our next one. We have a rose question. I think we get one a week. How to keep
I
bugs
get 20 a week.
You probably get more than 20
the
a week.
rose
I think
man.
you get 20
That's
a
true.
day.
Yeah.
How to keep bugs from eating my rose bush leaves.
All right. The old rose slugs, people, it's inevitable. Unfortunately, they're going to come out every year. That's a common name is rose slugs. It's technically sawfly larvae, which is small little greenish clear worms that get on the backsides of the
And why
leaves.
do they call them soft fly?
Well, the adult is a little bitty fly. I mean, it looks almost like a little fruit fly, if you will. But they lay their eggs. I'm not sure why they call them sawflies,
Is
actually.
it a serrated wing on
Oh,
them?
that's it. Yep. They do have a little cut leaf wing for bringing horticulture into insects, but entomology, whatever.
You're combining it all. It's perfect.
But anyway,
Lancifolia.
yeah. So, but it is inevitable to get on roses, and at least like 3 different generations a year, typically here in Middle Tennessee. So, it's a tricky thing because if you really want perfect roses, you can spray insecticides and pretty harsh ones to control the worms, and that's fine. But at the same time, roses flower a lot, and what does flowers attract is bees, and we really don't want to hurt those bees if we can help it. So spraying intense insecticides, I would not recommend. Now, spraying oils and soaps on the insects is beneficial. It's not as effective. I'm not going to lie. They're organic approaches, so they're a little bit tricky. You got to actually target the insects. You got to spray it on the bug to actually kill them. So it's a little bit trickier that way. Now with worms, BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, which is a product we sell here that is really good for worm control, is what I like to use for the worm. So we're going to start on that whenever you first see activity on the roses, which is going to be little holes in the leaves. And you're going to get your spray on there at least, typically once or twice a month to kind of keep them, if you want to keep them real clean, to start on that regimen. And, last week actually was the first sign of roses that I saw with the sawfly larvae was already out. So we can go ahead and start doing that. Also manual, just hand picking them off when you see them, and pruning to keep your roses clean is probably the best way to do it here.
And one of the things that people need to be mindful of, if you will refer back to the forecast I gave you just a few minutes ago, we're going to have warming temperatures up into the upper 80s, into the lower 90s this week. And that really turns the activity switch on for all the pests and diseases. So you need to really take the time to go out and inspect closely. I'm not talking about a walk down the sidewalk. I mean, really stop, get your hands on the plants, and check them out closely, because often when you fail to do that, a lot of things go rather unnoticed. Many times these pests are underneath the leaves or on the stems, and you don't see them unless you look really close, and the damage frequently occurs before you can prevent it.
Yes, most definitely. And once you see it once, then you know kind of what you're looking for. And you almost always see damage before you see insects. Like David was talking about, you've probably got worms on your roses right now, and you just don't even know it if you haven't looked at the backsides of the leaves. And then you're going to start to see, all sorts of leaves with holes on them. And you're like, oh my God, I got something going on here. And then by that time, you're a little bit behind the curve. So certainly inspecting your plants, looking at them, getting in there with them, checking backsides of leaves is by far the best method to control those insect problems.
All right. Hey, just go ahead and take a moment to remind you once again, tomorrow is the inaugural event of the Hillsborough West End Garden Tour. And
It is.
That's going on coincidentally in the Hillsborough West End neighborhood.
What a coincidence.
How convenient is that? It's actually happening in the neighborhood that the gardens are in. So come on out. You can check out their website, hwen.org. You can get tickets online there. And when you come out to, there's the banner there, and gives you all the information. One of the things you're going to need to do is once you get your ticket, you'll go to a booth and get your little armband that designates you as someone who's supposed to be there.
That's
looking
right.
around.
There's a tent.
Now can you buy tickets on site?
You can buy tickets on site. You can buy tickets online. You can pay with Venmo. You can pay with PayPal. You can pay cash. We'll take a credit card. We'll take a chicken.
Wow.
But it's got
I'll
can't
bring
be
a chicken.
Can't be a skinny chicken though. It's got to be
a laying hen.
I got a couple that are really annoying me because they scratch out my mulch all the time. I'll bring one to you. lay one
So
for
yeah,
you.
she said we could bring a chicken. So.
Yeah, she said it. I'm going to do it. Hey, Miriam, while we're talking gardens, how's your garden looking right now? You ask questions all the time. Surely you've got a ton of plants. What's it doing?
Well, my
Things popping?
carefree wonder.
I have one of those. I love it.
I love them, and they're fragrant. You know how
And it is a truth in advertising name. It really is almost a carefree
it
plant to
is.
have.
For roses, anyway. It's a pretty
Yes.
easy one. Yep.
It is, and mine are about 6 feet tall. So
Ooh,
yeah,
Mine's
I
not
get-
that big yet.
I got some bang for the buck.
nice.
The irises are just about to peter out at my house, although I'm seeing them everywhere, and they're spectacular this season. Aquilegia Columbine. I've got some coreopsis popping up.
Okay.
The
Starting to bloom or just starting to pop?
No, they're starting to bloom. They're blooming.
Yeah, I figured.
My hostas are just spectacular. I don't know. This season has been amazing for some things, and that has been one of them.
It's been cool. It's been somewhat of a cool start, I guess, is kind of what plants are, they like that. They like to kind of pop up and then be, cool, but not cold, but cool. It just kind of slows them down and just kind of keeps them where they want to be. And here, guys, changed my mind. I talked about this earlier. Hosta is the boxwood of perennials. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Well,
Yes.
no, I'd say you're right.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody should have some hosta. If you got any shade at all, you got to have one side of the house that gets shade. I mean, not all sides of your house can face the west. It's just not possible.
Nope.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what I love is to see the hosta in the dark corner that pops. You
Yes.
know, those variegated.
Oh, yeah.
With the chartreuse stripes. Yeah.
Oh, you're the kind of yellowy variegated leaf? Is that you? See, I'm a white variegated leaf guy. I like that white. And hosta with the white is money.
And the
pretty.
good thing, they give you, like, as you mentioned, Miriam, the pop of color in an area that you wouldn't otherwise have any color, because it's really not conducive to most flowering things, because you simply don't have enough light to really get good color otherwise. So they give a beautiful show and a great texture to the foliage, always in addition to any landscape.
Absolutely. And I think just really paying attention to the foliage is important, because you can extend your garden season. It doesn't have to be flowers all the time.
Especially if you have shade, you kind of have to, give that up. There's some things that flower in the shade, but not a lot. So get some foliage color out there. Heuchera, we are loaded down with heuchera right now, y'all. Excellent foliage color to pop around your hostas. In a nice little shade bed. So, Miriam, what about your clematis? I remember a couple weeks ago you had a sad question about clematis.
I'm still
long and leggy.
Still working on my clematis.
What's it doing? What's wrong with it?
Well, the jury's still out. The jury is still out. A spindly. I think I just have a black thumb when it comes to clematis. I'm not gonna give up though.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your advice. I'm not gonna give up.
All right. Which one are you growing?
Purple one.
Gotcha. I know that one. I grow that one too. Well, like I said, stick in there. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
And let me talk about one thing for just a moment. No matter what you're growing, be it indoors or out, if you're talking about vegetable gardening, herbs, or your landscape plantings, there's no way better to address those things and to get them growing the very best than using Earth Mix Garden products. And those products are available in a wide variety of forms. They are for every different application, whether you use Earth Mix Garden, right out of the bag to plant vegetable plants into. Maybe it's tomatoes. Maybe it could have been squash or okra. Those kinds of things coming on as the season warms up. If you're planting trees and shrubs, ground cover, maybe you're using Earth Mix Landscape. If you've got outdoor planters, Proganics O. And of course, in Cary's domain, if you're planting indoor plants, Proganics I. And the great thing about Proganics I, as with all other Earth Mix products, there's no peat whatsoever in there. It's coconut core. You will not have the issues with fungus gnats because coconut core does not attract it like peat does, and it's a renewable resource. So we feel it's a far better strategy as a substrate in your soil. So those plus, Viagra, earthworm castings, magic mushroom compost, all the other great products are available at a great many locations all over Middle Tennessee, Kentucky, even up into Ohio and Indiana. Simply go to earthmix.net and click on the Find Earth Mix tab. When you click on that, map will come up. It shows you all the different pins that are all over the area, Tennessee, Kentucky. Check all those out at earthmix.net. I know we've got a couple of new dealers this week. Tyler, who do we have out there that we want to give a shout out to?
That's right. Meadowview Greenhouse and Garden Center in Lenore City, Tennessee.
Hey.
Right.
We'll welcome you on board. They're going to have our garden and landscape varieties. And we've also got Ace Hardware of Hendersonville. So
Ooh.
give them a visit. They've got actually quite a wide variety of Earth Mix products on hand for you folks in Hendersonville.
I think they grow a good amount of they don't grow, but they buy a lot of annuals too. They always have a pretty good selection out there.
They also have some rare houseplants.
Do they?
So
News
just
to
remember
me.
this: success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products, and we appreciate you giving us a moment to talk about that and to help you along. Make sure to support all the great folks who are sellers of Earth Mix garden products all over the area, independent garden centers and other independent businesses all around the area. Okay, Carey,
All right.
what we got now?
I got distracted by a cute little bug crawling on this table. Just speaking of Earth Mix products, I talked a little bit yesterday to David about it. I sent him an email, but I recently started trying to top dress some of my houseplants with our supernatural compost just to kind of see what happens. I researched a little bit on it, and I usually start fertilizing super early spring, and I decided I'm going to try compost instead and see what happens with some of my philodendron and ficus. And it was easier than fertilizing, and the results so far are incredible. So something that, is new to me and just fun
Supernatural is not sold as a fertilizer, but it is a very fertile and very productive compost. So, and we use it a lot here around the nursery for that purpose, for top dressing on plants rather than using chemical fertilizers. It does a great job, and the great thing about using a product like that is it's impossible to burn it. You cannot overfeed them. All of that goes out the window, so to speak, when you use a compost like that. So that's Supernatural, in case you want to check that one out.
And it's doing great. All right. Our next question comes from someone in this room. Wonder who that is.
That's not me.
Why do
me.
ants love peonies, and should they be left alone?
Is that you, Miriam?
You should leave the peonies alone, yes.
Yes, you should. Ants and peonies go hand in hand. They are there. Peonies excrete this, secrete, what's the word? Excrete. This like sappy, sugary little balls of deliciousness for ants, I guess. And they are very protective
Donut
of their,
holes?
That
of
is
their peonies.
that
yeah.
is a technical term.
I'm getting very
Balls
technical
of
here.
deliciousness.
Yeah. But yeah, they, like I said, if you don't
Yikes.
see ants on your peonies, then something's probably wrong. So, Miriam, leave them on there. Let them be. They're not hurting anything. And peonies are about to be money right now. A lot of them are. They're really
Money-onies, if you will.
Money-onies.
There you go.
Yeah, and one of the new favorites that's been around for a number of years now, but Ito peonies, which are, of course, a hybrid between a tree peony and an herbaceous peony. They are they have many wonderful qualities that neither of the other two possess, and one that they do not require staking, and they are very disease resistant. They don't have the leaf problems nearly so much as the herbaceous ones do. So no staking and without the leaf problems, they really make a nice flowering plant. And that one's for someone. It's not for me.
Awesome.
No, that wasn't. Don't tell me. That was fine. But yeah,
Josh
David,
is not here. We can't blame it on him. You know, he's our go-to guy.
He's phoning it in.
my little brother's calling me. By the way, guys, my little shout out to my little brother. He runs a company called Dempsey's Landscape, and he shops with us all the time. He's probably calling me right now to pick up some trees or some plants. I don't know, but he's really good at what he does. If y'all need some installs done, Dempsey's Landscape, and he'll certainly help you out.
All right.
But anyway, a little shout out to my bro.
That's how he knows to get a shout out is to call us.
That's
while we're
right.
live
Call
on
us
the
at that
air.
time. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, but hey, while we're talking about peonies and they're blooming, why don't we go ahead and talk about what else is blooming? We want to go ahead and get that going?
What's in bloom?
What's in bloom? All
For
right,
Mother's Day week.
Mother's Day week.
And
What's
by the
in
way,
bloom?
in case we haven't covered that, and quick, we only have one mom in studio, and that is Miriam. And happy
Miriam.
Mother's Day to you
Thank
and to all
you.
mothers out there. We hope you have a great weekend and hope you enjoy the time with the kids.
Yeah, that's right. Miriam, how many kids you got?
I have. How many do I have? 2.
Walker and Emmy and
2,
Walker.
Where are
right? And 3 grandchildren.
Oh, good for you. What's better, kids or grandkids?
Grandkids,
Yeah,
hands
I
down.
thought you'd say that.
That was a nanosecond answer.
Yeah.
Don't ask me twice.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
You'll get
what's
the same answer.
So what's blooming?
All right, guys, what's blooming around? Okay, so let's talk about just for a second. Last week we talked about viburnums that are in bloom. The snowball bush, they're still going, kind of on their way out though, and then also locust tree, black locusts are in bloom still. I talked about them last week, but they're mid-show to heading out as well. We talked earlier about irises, our state flower. It is in bloom right now.
I was spaced out and didn't catch you mention that last week.
I did.
I thought you missed it. So
no, it was the
me.
last one I
missed
talked
it.
about. Yep, but irises are still blooming, and they've been a great show this year, like Miriam said earlier. Really nice show, but they're kind of starting to want to fade a little bit, and they're going to be done here before you know it. A couple that you've got to have, everybody has got to have these in their yard. I don't care who you are, you got to have them, and that's the fringe trees, and that's the American fringe tree and also the Chinese fringe tree. You may not have even ever heard of these plants, but you see them around town right now. Big, beautiful white puffy clouds of perfect. You just can't. There's nothing better. Every time people come out here and say, "What is this?" They take a picture of them and show me. It's like it's a fringe tree, and they are gorgeous. They are short, growing trees, and this is the American fringe. What I learned yesterday from our very own Joey Bovin, who's our perennial queen back there. Fringe trees, American fringe tree is male and female. They're dioecious, so there's male and female on separate plants. And what she told me, which I confirmed and looked up, is that the males have the bigger show. So if you, not that we differentiate males and females out here on the lot or anything, but if you're lucky enough to get a male plant, they are extremely showy blooms. Very, like I said, just beautiful round white blooms. If you're lucky enough to own a Chinese fringe tree, which I do.
Oh,
got it at
yeah.
the house. It's on the corner of my home. It's a beautiful little tree right now. It is about to be lit up. It is full bud, about to be full bloom. And if you've ever seen those out, it is a showstopper. So certainly worth getting a couple of those.
They are the ultimate in profuse flowering.
They really are.
They throw it all on at one time. Then they are the definitive showstopper. They will be the kind of thing that actually stops traffic in the street. People go,
Yeah.
"What is that?"
Seriously, every year, like I said, this time of year, people bring me pictures and say, "I've got to have one of these."
The widely renowned and well-known architect Ben Page lives in my neighborhood, and he has one in his side yard, and he got the neighbor across the street to plant one in theirs, and they kind of mirror each other, and it is spectacular. I mean, spectacular. So
Yeah.
if you see something white and in flower right now, it is what you want, and it's that Cyananthus is, or whether it's the American or the Chinese variety, they're both are really wonderful.
Yes, both beautiful plants, beautiful. So certainly worth growing. Next up, which is an old school backbone, shout out to Dr. Lincoln out there. Hopefully he's on the lot. The red tip photinias are blooming right now. We don't think about blooms on those, but whenever they bloom, they're kind of pretty.
And again, in my neighborhood, that's what I happen to. There, where you see those looking wonderfully and huge, are singular plants. And there's a reason why you'll only see one, because you get more than one together, that endomosporium leaf spot that they are notoriously bad about acquiring, they'll wipe them all out. But you can get one from time to time that is totally removed from all others. There's one in my neighborhood that's probably, I would say it's 14 or 15 feet tall and covered in white flowers right now.
Yeah.
And that's the best use for a Petunia, is a singular plant. They're not good for hedges.
No. I'm a big fan of a single multi-stemmed but raised canopy Petunia. So you can grow it more to look like a tree.
A tree
honestly.
form.
Yeah, tree form Petunia. They're not bad. So they're like I said.
And they'll kind of do that naturally as they age, because the top foliage shades out that lower foliage, and they're not a shade. They'll tolerate some shade, but you want them in the sun, because that's where you get that good red color on the uppermost new growth that's on the top of them.
Yeah, certainly. So
they'll defoliate a lot at the bottom, like a lot of plants will when they don't get much light.
So okay, red tip Petunia, they're good. The best evergreen flowering plant that you can grow by far, if you ask me, rhododendron. Now you need some shade for the rhododendron, but if you have
Austin,
those, what's up?
What's the very best flowering shrub for the yard?
Okay, yeah, we get that a lot, but no, but
Webinar.
seriously though,
Webinar alert.
for an evergreen plant that keeps its leaves through the whole wintertime and then blooms profusely in the spring, rhododendron can't be beat. So if you've got a good spot for that, a nice shady location that's kind of protected from the coldest parts of the winter, rhododendron's certainly an excellent plant.
And that's kind of is the caveat that needs to be put out there. That, you can amend the soil sufficiently well enough so that they can grow, because they will not grow just like all azaleas are rhododendron. Not all rhododendron are azaleas. So ponder on that one for a moment. But they all have that same quality. They have this very fine hair-like root system. It will not penetrate compacted soil. So if you fail to do a proper amount of soil preparation, they have no chance of doing well. But as you're saying, if you can get one established, they are money. They are a growing machine, and they need to be treated as such, because particularly if you use some of the better growing varieties around here, they get quite large, and you don't want to have to be cutting on them a lot. So give them a space where they've got room to grow.
And give them acid.
There you go.
Yes, and we're talking about the kind of acid, not from the 60s. We're talking about acid that is acid-loving plant food.
Yeah, they don't like to go on little rides too often.
No.
Anyway, all right, let's finish up right now. A big one. Blackberries are in bloom, y'all. Blackberries, full
Blackberry
show.
winter blackberry.
I tell you, they are really kicking right now. About to be a great crop this year. Caroline told me in her yard, Calicanthus is blooming right now, which is sweet shrub. I'm not sure. That's not one y'all think about very much, but it is a pretty showy little plant. Some people say the blooms smell like strawberries.
Sweet shrub. They don't call them sweet shrub for nothing.
That's right. So big leafy plant, a grower. I tell you, that plant really grows like a weed. So they're in bloom. And then one of my favorite perennials, if not my favorite, is Baptisia, is blooming right now. And gosh, they're
It's
so
gorgeous.
pretty. They are really, really pretty. There's yellow, there's purple, there's in between that. So all sorts. We got a good variety of Baptisia right now. So there you go. That's what's in bloom. That's what I noticed this morning on my drive in. So look around, spot them, spot those Chinese fringe trees. I'm telling y'all.
Thank you, Austin. I appreciate you. Now we can go about our business.
All right,
because we've been brought up to speed. So, Caroline, do we have other questions out there?
We do. We have quite a few more. Our next one comes from someone who's usually in this room, and it is not today, Mr. Josh Cary.
Oh, my word.
He asks, is it true that Eliza Blair Carey is graduating from vet school? And I would say yes.
Yes, well, actually, that's happening today.
It is.
Is it also
Congratulations
true that
again.
she won three different awards that she won?
There were a lot in that photo.
There was between the two young women who were there were 6 awards, 3 each in hand. So congratulations. I don't know who the other young woman was, but they're congratulations.
Yeah, shining stars right there. All right, why is my clematis changing color? It used to be a deep purple, and now it's almost white.
Oh.
Interesting, huh?
Very interesting. I was talked to Melissa the other day, who's a great employee of ours that works in our annual department, and we talked a little bit about that the other day. And honestly, it's a rare thing to happen, but I have seen it. You know where I've seen it before is some people have told me they've bought red chrysanthemums in the fall, and they plant them and they're red, and then they come up the next year and they bloom and they're yellow. And honestly, I don't know what to say about this. I'm baffled.
You're stumped.
Clematis is the same way. I don't know if
maybe it's acid.
Maybe, yes.
It wouldn't be.
I mean, that 60s kind of acid is what I'm
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. They said flashbacks
It's
could
not
happen.
some
I
kind
don't
of
know.
bleaching or anything.
I don't think so. I don't know if a nutrient deficiency would do it. I don't have a great answer for this. I've thought about it many a times. And at the end of the day, what do I say? Plants can be weird. Mutations happen. Like I said, I'm almost stumped by this. I'd love to see it. I'd love for you to come out and show me, hopefully you have a before and an after picture to see what's kind of happening. But it's I said.
Now, one of the things that is explainable is someone who perhaps bought at some time a pink or red dogwood, and then later on it mysteriously turns into a white dogwood.
It reverts.
And of course that's a sucker that's been allowed to grow from under the graft, and maybe the bud that was put on above the graft died off for whatever reason. So the rootstock is just the Cornus florida, the regular white native dogwood, and that's explainable. But with something like a chrysanthemum or a clematis, that's a little tough to get the head wrapped around.
It really is. And Miriam, you mentioned reverting, and reverting is a word that a lot of people may use but don't necessarily know what that actually means. And a reversion can only happen with a mutation originally. So a sport is what we call a mutation in the plant world, and that's whenever something funky happens on the plant, what we call typically a witch's broom. So you have this main plant that looks all normal, and then you've got this weird side shoot that's different, and you can obviously tell that it's different. So if you take that and you take a cutting from that and then grow it, that is your mutation. Now, sometimes what happens when you do that is that mutation isn't always stable, is what we call that. So it'll grow up and be normal-ish until something happens to it, in which typically that's a reversion, and it reverts back to its original self. So you'll have it happens commonly with Japanese maples. They'll be like the really pretty harp string Japanese maples that'll all be pretty, and then you'll have one stem that looks just like a normal maple. So that's the reversion on that. But just with clematis, it's just gosh, I'm stumped. I'm sorry. I've failed.
You did not fail.
That's okay. We'll let you off with a warning.
All right.
You're not stumped often, so.
That's fine.
All right, moving on to our next question. Recommendations for tallish houseplants for a northeast facing room that doesn't get a ton of sun.
Do it, Caroline.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it up. So the easiest plants, what I normally would recommend for lower light, would be Dracaena. You can get a lot of height with Dracaena. They grow fairly slow, not like super fast. So if you wanted a tall plant, you might want to start with the larger size, medium to large. Sansevieria, mother-in-law tongue, snake plant will also do great. They can actually get very, very tall. Normally you see them about 1 foot, 2 feet tall. I've seen them. Cary, who works here, has one that's, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 feet tall, maybe taller than that. So those are two really common, really easy to care for, low water plants, and that are very versatile to highlight. I would also suggest Pathophylum, peace lily. We also have a really cool variety, Sensation, that has a lot larger leaf and does get taller. It has a similar look to a white bird of paradise, though it's not going to get quite as tall as that. But it's going to be really happy in that northeast window. Now, a lot of people think northeast isn't going to be great for houseplants, but I would say a lot of my houseplants thrive in my north-facing windows. I have a lot of philodendron that have gotten very tall, and they've actually grown taller on a moss pole because they're reaching for light and not getting too much sun, where they're going to grow a little bit lower and bushier. But there are a lot of options for that spot, so you can come out and visit us here at the nursery, and we have a lot in the houseplants right now, and I would be happy to help you.
And those are all great Mother's Day gifts.
Yes, they are.
And let's talk for just a moment about where we're broadcasting from. That's not just the green room, it's also live from Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where we open here in just a few minutes. We're open from 9 until 4, actually Monday through Saturday, noon to 4 on Sunday, and that includes tomorrow, Mother's Day. We invite you to come out and see us. We've got any kind of a gift, horticulturally speaking, that your mom could possibly want. we have it. Be it rose bushes or just other flowers or landscape plants, or if you don't know, we've got gift cards. All the things you can think of, you can get Mom here, and we're happy to come out and try to assist you and try to show you what we've got. If you came out last week, maybe towards the end of the weekend or the early part of the weekend, we looked like we had been decimated because we had been. We had we have fully recovered from that now. So we've unloaded probably 25 trucks this week in restocking. So we appreciate you coming out and see us, and we thank you for the trust you place in us. So we are your Mother's Day gift central. Come out here, take care of her, and show Mom that you care about her. We really appreciate, one thing that I can say with absolute certainty, without Mom's, Bates Nursery would not exist. And that goes all the way back to my grandmother, who founded Bates Nursery back in 1932. So this is our Emerald anniversary, our 90th year here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center. We appreciate you tuning in every week and also coming out here to see us, where we've been beautifying Nashville since 1932. So check us out. We're easy to find 1 mile north of Briley Parkway at exit 19 on Whites Creek Pike. That is Bates Nursery and Garden Center. And so thank you for that moment. And we're going to go back to Miriam now and talk about the garden tour that's coming up in tomorrow afternoon from 1 until 5.
That's right.
The Hillsboro West End Neighborhood Association Garden Tour. There's 10 gardens.
There are.
Is this I know we talked about adults. It's $10 for adults. 12 and under kids are free. What about people who have leashed animals? Are those no pets?
We would ask not at this event because of what dogs do sometimes.
Well, I guess we could expand the list of what that is, but we don't need to. We have vivid imaginations and experience, so we know what that means. So don't bring pets, but bring the children and come on out and see all the great gardens. And
it's a great family event. You can walk it, you can drive it, you can do a mixture of both. I mean, if you want to ride a bike around, you can. The whole from one end to the other is about 1.25 miles.
So it's not a bad walk around. It's all quite flat.
It is, but you'd want to get back to your car. And we have free parking at St. Bernard Academy. The check-in tent is at the corner of Blair Boulevard and 25th Avenue. So easy to get to.
Yep.
Just hop on I-440, get off on 21st Avenue, come down to Blair, and you can walk it, bike it, or drive it.
Excellent. And of course, this is the inaugural event. So
it is.
That leads me to believe there will be more coming in future years.
We've got some lined up. And I just want to mention, you were talking about your beloved mother and your 90 years here in business because of her. I think she would approve of one of our gardens, which is called the Friendship Garden. And if people don't know what a Friendship Garden is, this particular garden is tiny and sweet. It's just the front yard on this one. Every single plant is marked where she got it, where she obtained it. And one of them, I had a picture I sent you, Tyler, shows Bates Nursery.
There we go.
So it can be Aunt Beverly, it can be Granny, it can be what have you. There it is. The threadleaf coreopsis came from Bates Nursery.
Well, look at that.
One of our other gardens, which is the Rome Garden on Sunset Place, swears by exactly what you were talking about earlier, that top dressing, where you take the soil product that you sell here,
Supernatural,
and top dress it.
Or was it mushroom compost?
In this case, it was the mushroom compost.
But
there you have it. Every year, this no-dig garden, which is hard to believe, it's a Charles Dowding inspired no-dig garden, no raised walls or
they've
sides.
got the children out there involved in it,
They've got the labor.
There you go.
Hey, that's our dump truck.
Yeah.
Our old dump truck.
That's us
The old one
delivering
anyway,
it.
yeah.
Looks like in the fall.
And this is give us a moment. Go back to that shot for just a moment, Tyler. You see what they've done there? They actually thought ahead and got a tarp to be able to dump the compost or any other bulk materials when you're having them delivered. Always a great idea to have a big tarp to dump that on. That way it's much easier to clean up because you don't always necessarily have a hard surface to dump that on. So if it's going in the corner of the yard or whatever, have a tarp to put that on. It really makes it easy on the end user to clean up that mess at the end.
Lindsay knows what she's doing on this one.
Yep.
And then speaking to your point about the Petunia limbing up, I think it was Austin, you mentioned, one of the things, that one, go back,
This
Tyler.
one? Okay, hold on.
One of the
I'll
things
get
that
it.
amazed me, these gardens here at the tour are tiny little compact urban gardens. Some yards are bigger, but most of our yards are less than a fifth of an acre.
Wow.
So we're talking creativity.
That's
This
a lot of color packed into one spot right
That
there.
is. And I want you to know that this couple, David Rebar and Susan Eady, have a highly vertical garden where they ran out of foot space. They went up. And you look around, they've limbed up oak leaf hydrangea. They've limbed
See the
up
crepe myrtle there on the left, which I love that look. And even though there's no visible foliage, let alone flowers at this point or that stage on it, it still adds a lot of interest to the garden.
It sure does. So when you run out of room, you can look up, go up, and that verticality can add interest to a garden.
Most definitely.
Yeah, verticality is one of those things that are often overlooked because you're looking down.
That's a David Austin Rose.
Yes, it is. Man. Boy, and those have not come in here to the nursery.
Oh,
yet,
no,
have they?
They're here,
Oh,
David.
they are here.
And they're
They
half
made it.
gone.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, if you want a David Austin Rose, you better come out today.
You certainly better come out today 'cause they're going to be gone.
This particular garden here is a Zen Garden, and they have done a phenomenal job. There's a beautiful sculpture in the back. This one is highly manicured, very urban, very tidy, and it's inspirational for those of you who are still trying to figure out what to put in. It's not too late to put things in, and you'll get a lot of inspiration from some of these beautifully maintained gardens. Some of them are creative and devil may care, and some of them are manicured to within an inch of their lives. We have some lettuces coming up. Those cool weather vegetables are coming up.
I tell you what, these the ones with the mottled red in them, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have some in my garden bed. They're amazing.
It's great to just walk around other people's gardens just to get ideas too. I mean, just to see what people are doing. When you think, I would have never put that there, but that's such a great idea. You know, it's so much fun to do that. Look at those. Is that New Dawn? Are those New Dawn?
That's New
roses?
Dawn.
Oh,
That's New
God.
Dawn. I know, melt. And look at the beautiful petals on the walk.
Oh,
Don't blow those petals off. Let
no.
them be.
Oh, I love a carpet of fallen petals.
In fact, it looks like I could just sit on the bench and have them fall all over me. I think I would love that.
Well, and the look is great when you get up off the bench and they're falling off your backside once they've stuck to you. So anyway,
Wipe your feet when you go in the house.
Oh,
there you go.
That's stunning.
It
All
is.
right, so make sure got a great opportunity tomorrow to check out the Hillsborough West End Neighborhood Association first annual garden tour. So 10 different gardens. Bring the family, leave the pets at home, and
Should I keep my chicken on a leash or?
yeah,
If you
carry
carry
it.
that chicken,
My daughter will carry it. My daughter is a
carry
chicken
it.
whisperer. My middle daughter, Marley, she is a chicken whisperer, y'all. She can grab them no matter what. She's amazing at it. So
Oh,
I'll
yes.
have her carry it in.
are there not some special guests going to be at the involved with the tour tomorrow? Miriam?
There are. So if it's fun to look at the gardens, it's inspirational, but we also have the bug doctor.
Oh,
Dr. Eleanor Phillips Lopez is going to be there. She's with Ellington Agricultural Center. She's a PhD in plant medicine and entomology. So she is amazing. She'll answer your questions. We've got a certified Tennessee naturalist and sidewalk nature blogger, Joe Bruschetto. Everyone loves to read Joe. We've got a guitarist. We've got a finger-picking guitarist at one of our beautiful gardens that is a benign stewardship garden, the Bee's Knees. We also have a master gardener at one of our locations. There'll be treats. There'll be an art show at the Rab. So come on to the back of the Jennings garden, and there's a fantastic art show with maybe an adult beverage in there. You might find one.
Oh, well. So there's something for everyone. Make sure you go out and take advantage of the opportunity at the West End, the Hillsborough West End Neighborhood Association inaugural garden tour. So check that out. Tomorrow only from 1 until 5, $10 for adults. Children 12 and under are free. The pets need to stay home. And there's plenty of parking out street side and over in
St. Bernard.
St. Bernard Academy. So you can park there, make your way on over, and enjoy a lovely afternoon. The weather looks to be great. Miriam, we really appreciate you coming on the show today to talk about this and to
my pleasure.
add some interest to the program. We need interest.
I am a mom. I'm here for Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you. So, and on behalf of all of us here at the At Home Show, we appreciate you tuning in. Happy Mother's Day again to everyone out there. We'll see you next time.